Hey gang, Mark Sweeney here from beautiful Austin, Texas, and it is beautiful out there today from what I understand, in the 80s. So that's what we expect from Texas. I think we're done with winter. And as you know, if you've tuned in, this is Wisdom Wednesday. We've been doing it for about 7 years now. And we try to bring a scientific topic, not always about dentistry, but always about whole body health or other things that are going on. In many cases, we've scooped the mainstream media, and 2 or 3 weeks after we've done one of our Wisdom Wednesdays, I'll hear about it in the mainstream media. So we're doing a pretty good job of keeping up with the latest trends and the latest topics, and I think the one this week is going to be right in there with that. I'm sure you've all heard about Ozempic and Wegovy, the miracle weight loss drugs. They came out for diabetic patients, but the people that were taking it over the first couple of years noticed that they were losing 20 to 25% of their body fat. And so now a lot of people are taking it specifically for weight loss. So there's a study out of Denmark, actually. We try to find US-centric studies, but this one is out of Denmark, and it involves mice. And it is a very, very interesting study, fresh off the press, that is dealing with weight loss. So first, we always have a theme each month, and this is March. So first time we've done a repeat. We did this last March, and we're doing it again this March. March Madness, because of the basketball tournament that's about to start in 2 weeks. The selection process is going on this weekend after all the conference championships are done. UT is playing Vanderbilt today in the SEC tournament. By Sunday, there will be an SEC champion, and that's the only way Texas will get into the big dance. The final 64 teams are what they call March Madness. There's another tournament called the NIT, or National Invitational Tournament, that's for the second level teams. But by Sunday night, we'll know the final 64 teams, and everybody will be going online and filling out on ESPN.com and filling out their brackets, because they give $1 million to anybody that can predict a bracket exactly right. So that's our March Madness theme for the rest of this month. And so by next Wednesday, we'll have a pretty good idea of who the top seed teams are and where the 5 and 12s, which is where a lot of the upsets occur. So hopefully UT will be in there, but it's not looking very promising right now. So let's get to this study. Wegovy and Ozempic have been all over the press. We've even done a Wisdom Wednesday on it, more about the weight loss aspect. But what researchers have found here in the United States and elsewhere is that there's a rapid weight loss on the front end, but then after about 3 months, when people have lost 20 to 25% of their body fat, or their overall body weight actually, but it's mostly fat, that they level off, it plateaus, and they can't make it happen anymore. Well, these researchers in Denmark, the Southern University of Denmark, Denmark's kind of a vertical country, so I guess it's down close to the Baltic Sea, I believe, is down below. They started studying this, and they found that there is a adaptive mechanism in your body that when you start losing weight rapidly, whether it's on Ozempic or Wegovy or the more traditional means of working out more and eating less, your body recognizes that you've suddenly lost a lot of weight, and your metabolism changes inside your body. It's just a regulatory mechanism in your body, because your body cells get the idea that you're trying to starve yourself, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and so it shuts your metabolism down to the non-essential functions in your body and keeps the essential functions going. Well, so this stops the weight loss. And so because of that, what they call a starvation threat. So the study in Denmark actually looked at cells in the liver. And they had to do this study in rats. It's a year or two out from using humans in these studies. They always start with dogs or mice. So this was done on mice. It's been published recently in a prestigious journal called Cell Metabolism, which sounds like the perfect journal for this kind of research, because it's a little bit on the science side. But they found a gene in the livers of mice that, I don't know if this is a Danish word, PLVAP. It sounds like it might be a Danish word. I have no idea how to pronounce it. PLVAP. Few too many consonants in there for me. But they found that these genes in the cells of liver cells of mice controls that metabolic function, so that when you start starving yourself, it shuts down the metabolism. So they found that if they could turn that gene off, that your body continued burning fat and didn't resort to glucose. In a normal human being, when you start losing a lot of weight, your body will start burning fat, or will start burning sugar, and even break down muscles to get glycogen, because that's what happens in your body. When you eat, your blood sugar goes up, insulin gets dumped into your body, and the insulin helps the blood sugar, the glucose, go into the cells. Depending on which cell it is, a muscle cell or a fat cell, it either gets converted to fat, which is good fuel for the future if you're starving, or into the muscles as glycogen, and that glycogen is very easily converted back into blood sugar if your blood sugar drops. And so, little Physiology 101 lesson, I can't believe I remember all that stuff from 45 years ago. But anyway, that's the basic metabolic stuff. So by turning this PVLAP gene off, they found in laboratory mice, not rats, in laboratory mice, that they found that their livers, when they turn this gene off, they don't recognize that the body is fasting, so they keep on burning sugar, which is the thing that they wanted, and they continued to burn fat, which is what they wanted also. So your body, the rats' bodies did not recognize, like with humans, they did not adapt to the starvation threat, and they continued to burn off fat. So what's this have to do with human beings? Well, as they know from many, many decades of studying this, there are some similarities to rats and human beings, especially if you're talking about lawyers. What they are able to do is start these studies with mice, and then if they turn out well and their theories are proven correct, then they write papers and get human studies going. But they have to be very safe. So, because human experimentation is still kind of frowned on most parts of the world. So anyway, we're probably 2 years out from this study being converted to humans to see if they can find that PVLAP gene in human livers and see if they can turn it off and get the same kind of results that they got in the mice. So pretty amazing stuff. It could have all kinds of implications for treatment of obesity and just for people who want to lose weight in general. They don't have to hit that plateau at the 20 to 25%. Also could have huge ramifications for people with diabetes type 2, which is adult onset diabetes, and that is what Wegovy and Ozempic first came out to treat, is to regulate blood sugar in these diabetic patients, because they can't make insulin, which, as I mentioned earlier, insulin is what lowers your blood sugar by helping it move from the blood system into the cells, either as glycogen or fat. So could have all kinds of different offshoots from this study if it's proven to work the same way in humans as it did in mice. So my health tip for the week segues right into this, as I usually try to do. It is, we're going to talk about the old-fashioned way of losing weight. If you're not on Ozempic or Wegovy, you know, the old saying was, work out more, burn more calories, and consume less calories. And what's the best way to do that? Cardio. Cardio used to be defined as if you're exercising, but not to a point where you can't carry on a conversation with a workout partner. Then you've moved into you're not in cardio anymore. The importance is when you're in cardio mode, your system still is oxygenated, your cells are oxygenated, and you burn fat. As soon as you pass into the point where you're having trouble catching your breath and where you couldn't carry on a conversation with a person that might be exercising with you, you've moved into anaerobic, not aerobic or cardio mode, and you're going to start burning blood sugar or glycogen pulled out of the muscles. You're actually breaking your muscles down. So cardio is the key. Now, cardio can be as simple as the old what was his name? His last name was Bailey. I can't think of his first name right now. But he was a big cardio expert that was going around in the 80s talking about all you had to do was walk 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week. That was your basic cardio. 3 times a week for 20 minutes. You're never going to get your heart rate up, or you're going to get your heart rate up, but you're never going to breathe heavy enough so that you go into an anaerobic state. You're going to stay in aerobic state, so you're going to burn fat. That's where the stair climbers and all the treadmills came out back in the 80s, is keeping you in cardiac mode, or in cardio mode, in aerobic mode, so that you're burning fat more than anaerobic mode. So that's one way to do it, is just by staying in cardio mode and exercising multiple times a week. They used to say two times a week. Now they say 3 times a week. Managing your appetite is the other side of that equation, by not putting as many calories into your system, and certainly not the calories that are associated with refined carbohydrates, which is basically the junk foods, and with sugar. Sugar is the big no-no. I've got half of my team is on diets right now because swimsuit season is coming up in 2 months, and they all want to look good for summertime in their brand new swimsuit. So they're all on non-sugar, low-carb diets, and going out and walking at lunchtime, which is how I know that it's nice weather out there today. So managing your appetite, staying in cardio mode. The benefits to this not only are losing weight, but you get a mood boost, you sleep better, and you get reduced pain and stiffness that you would get with an anaerobic workout where you're really pushing the muscles. So think cardio, and think Wisdom Wednesday next Wednesday. We'll have another fun topic for you, and I'll look forward to seeing you again next week for another version of Wisdom Wednesday.